Friday the 13th filmmaker reveals brilliant Bloodless Kill cut from 2009 reimagining. Sometimes Jason gets lazy and allows nature to take its course. This came out yesterday from Josh Weiss over on Sci-Fi. Etep Wakui, and right back here with you. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. If you're one of the ones that's watching and hasn't subscribed, hit the button. Horror content, single release videos, movie reviews. We have live streams and members content, folks. Tales from the Crypt commentaries, you name it, we got it. Let's get going with this article, shall we? Sometimes Jason Voorhees gets lazy. Sometimes he refrains from swinging his iconic machete and allows nature to run its course. At least that's what co-screenwriters Mark Swift and Damian Shannon wanted to happen in the 2009 Friday the 13th. In a since-archived interview with Shock Till You Drop, the cinematic scribes dished on a preferred slasher kill that never made it into the film for budgetary reasons. The craziest part? It was completely bloodless.
Are you sure?
Which we realize a lot of the kills in Friday the 13th throughout the history of the franchise have been, pared down by the MPAA because the blood and the gore were too much for their delicate sensibilities for movie audiences without giving the films, NC-17 ratings, which looking back now seems rather ridiculous, but the MPAA has always had an issue with horror, and it's just sad because it ruins so much of the creativity
Ruined?
that goes into, staging these elaborate death scenes. So that's the best thing about all these Blu-ray releases is if the footage is still there, they'll put it on the Blu-rays, and you get these deleted scenes and the gore, which they're always worth a watch. Whenever you write a movie, it's always your most favorite part that gets cut out, Shannon said of an axed sequence in which a young woman drowns after spotting the hockey mask wearing killer on the shore. Our original intent was for her to be stuck there waiting for hours and hours. Time passes and finally she just drowns. We never saw anything like that, but they went to something a little more visceral. And of course, as the article will state, they're speaking of Willa Ford's death scene in the 2009 Friday the 13th movie, which we did an episode centered around that, and my belief that was such a bad movie, and I said I was a little hard on it in some spots and gave it a little more credit, but I am still not a fan of that iteration. This is most likely reference to the moment where Chelsea Willa Ford is abruptly stabbed in the head with Jason's machete as she hides under the dock. As Shannon mentioned, the drowning idea was meant to give slasher fans something new. There have been so many movies and so many kills, Swift added. You've got to do your homework because there's going to be a fan that grabs you and says, you ripped this off, or it's too much like this one. You've got to be careful.
Just be original.
What's next for the Friday the 13th franchise? Well, before we get to that, and I have to say there's a lot of crossover with the kills in some of these franchises, although they have went above and beyond in some cases to, differentiate. There's always going to be things that are similar in these because you can only do so much with what budget you have to work with. As they said, their favorite kill got cut, which was a drowning sequence. Doesn't seem like that would cost that much, but from a Friday the 13th, what they thought a fan perspective, I guess I can kind of understand that. Well, it's like they want the kills to be more visceral. Well, I mean, I kind of think it's kind of a neat idea, but let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. What's next for the Friday the 13th franchise? Well, I can answer that, but I'll allow the article its chance to speak, and then I'll give you my thoughts, of course, as I've been doing along the way. Glad you asked. Jason Voorhees will soon rise from the murky depths of Crystal Lake in an upcoming Peacock television series from A24 and Hannibal alumnus Brian Fuller. Announced last fall, the project, aptly titled Crystal Lake, will serve as a prequel to the films and is free to use any piece of established canon it wishes. It will also feature a recurring performance from Adrienne King, who played final girl Alice Hardy in the original movie. And yeah, we discussed that as well with there's of course more litigation surrounding the rights to this between Miller and Cunningham, and it's like I'm so against Sean Cunningham at this point. It's not even funny. I'm not saying that Victor Miller is absolutely 100% right, but Sean Cunningham was the one that was like, take him out of the goddamn mask, bam, 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 with Jason Goes to Hell, which was an absolute shit show of a movie. Friday the 13th is one of the most iconic horror franchises in movie history, and we were dying to revisit the story with our upcoming drama series, Crystal Lake. Susan Rovner, chairman, entertainment content, NBC Universal Television and Streaming, said in a statement at the time. We can't wait to get to work with Brian Fuller, a gifted visionary creator who I've had the pleasure of being a longtime friend and collaborator, along with our incredible partners at A24 in this updated version for Peacock that will thrill long-standing fans of the franchise. Now, I know a lot of these requels, whatever they call them, have been absolute shit shows, as I've mentioned. I just am keeping my fingers crossed that they really do this franchise justice and stay true to its roots. And I believe taking this out of the 80s or even further back is a huge mistake. But I'm willing to wait and give it the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I'm going to wait it out.
I discovered Friday the 13th in the pages of Famous Monsters magazine when I was 10 years old, and I've been thinking about this story ever since, added Fuller, who is set to occupy the roles of showrunner, writer, and executive producer. When it comes to horror, A24 raises the bar and pushes the envelope, and I'm thrilled to be exploring the campgrounds of Crystal Lake under their banner. And Susan Rovner is simply the best at what she does. It's a pleasure and honor to be working with her again.
Better than all the wrestlers.
So there you have it. The scene that was cut from the movie was Willa Ford drowning, which I'm not opposed to. Like I said, the idea of a battle of attrition, the battle of wills between Jason and one of his potential victims, it's intriguing. So I'm not opposed to that, but it would have fit in with that movie because that movie was just so, ugh. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't good. It wasn't Jason. I didn't care for that, but what are you going to do, right? It's in the past. We can only hope that anything they do moving forward will be good. So there you go, folks. Now it's your turn. Opine in the comments. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, ding the bell. Do all the YouTube things. Join as a channel member. We are getting ready to redo our perks and make that more beneficial for you as channel members or potential channel members, as it were. So that's it, gang. I'm Etep from the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I will catch you on the next one.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all day.
Cruise, thank you very much.
What's up, bro?
You're pushing your luck, little man.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.